Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. A Princess of Swords. You're somebody who is very curious, aren't you? I feel that you're always learning new things. You're always studying, you're always researching or reading. You're always testing yourself, testing your knowledge. I feel like maybe you're involved in you're getting to know something new. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a place, maybe it's a thing, or you're studying some new idea, some new craft, you're learning new information, maybe a new language, you're taking a course, you're getting to know a person, maybe you are trying to learn a new sport or a hobby. But the thing about this card is that you are giving yourself permission to not know the answer. The princesses of the tarot are all about permission, okay? This is you giving yourself permission to not be an expert at something yet. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're trying to penetrate into something. You look at this card, right, that figure, they look like they're kind of like battling their way up a mountain. Yeah. You're trying to climb that mountain of some kind of knowledge, right, or skill. Or maybe you're trying to improve your communication, or maybe you're trying to get through to somebody or something like this. But you're giving yourself permission to not have all the answers and to not do it perfectly and to not already be the black belt, right? You're kind of starting out at the white belt level, okay? So whatever you're doing right now, don't expect everything to go perfectly smoothly. The way you're trying to express yourself, it's not going to come out exactly right every time, okay? Giving yourself permission to fail, to say the wrong thing, giving yourself permission to not have the answers or to have the wrong answer, okay? It's okay. I think right now, you're better to speak up with the wrong answer than to stay quiet, okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what else is going on in your life right now. There we have the Death card. We have a 5 of Swords. We have a Chariot. And a 9 of Cups, beautiful. And a 2 of Swords, so a lot of air energy already. Here we have another Cancer energy with the Knight of Cups, okay? We have a 6 of Wands. We have a Lust or Strength card, Fortitude, and there's the Hierophant. There's the expertise. So you're going to make it work, okay? You're going to keep doing this, and you're going to keep making progress. Spirit doesn't want you to quit, okay? Even if you tend to make mistakes. You're asking questions. You're learning. You're giving yourself permission to learn. That's what the Princess of Swords is all about. How you're learning something. You're going from a white belt to a black belt, from a novice to an expert, from the apprentice to the master, okay? You got to give yourself that permission to start this thing and to be this elementary kind of neophyte level, okay? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that happy little card. until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card at any time, put it in the comments down below. Now, speaking of Bob Ross, people have been asking me where my Bob Ross energy drink is. Well, I didn't drink it. I still have it here, okay? I'm not endorsing this, or they're not a sponsor. I found this at some, like dollar store, and anyway, I thought it was kind of cool, so I picked it up. We'll put it over here so you can have a little Bob in the corner. I'm actually under the weather. That's why I'm dressed like this. That's why I sound like this. So not a day for energy drinks, really. But anyway, let's look around the room, okay? Enough of the shenanigans here. We've got major arcana energy. So really, this is very important stuff. The Chariot. You're trying to do something good for your life, okay? Hold it together. Don't let it fall apart, okay? Certainly, don't let it expire. Don't let it fade from your life. Don't throw it away. Have courage. Have confidence. Know that you can do it, and you will achieve your goal. You will make it work. You will become that expert, okay? You will, whatever this is. Now, I don't know if it could be literally anything. But whatever you're pursuing right now in your life, Spirit wants you to keep going, okay? On top of the majors, we've got fire, we've got some water, we've got air. We don't have any earth cards, okay? Because it's not about what you're doing. It's about the fact that you're just starting out. Nobody expects you to be perfect. Nobody expects you to know exactly how to do it. You're not going to paint like old Bob here your first try, okay? You're going to make mistakes. It's going to be kind of shabby at first, right? So that's your current station. You're learning new things. You're putting in the effort. You're researching. You're asking questions. You're trying to develop a skill, okay? And this could literally be about anything. It could be a relationship. You're just getting to know the person, okay? You're just learning how to give your presentation. You're just learning how to run the company or run the department or do the new job or whatever it might be. You're just now learning how to take care of the new dog or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? The next card you have is the Death card. This is a card of slow, gradual change over the course of time. Know that this is a process of evolution. It's a process of growth. Really, the Death card shouldn't be called the Death card. It should be called the Birth card, right? Or the Rebirth card, or the Growth card, or the Change card. Because we know that change takes time, okay? And that's kind of how we measure things, right? We see, how did it change over time? That's kind of, we can gauge something's speed by how much of a distance did it cross in a certain period of time. The Death card usually is slow and steady, okay? Gradual change. Yeah. So Spirit wants you to acknowledge that gradual change, that you might not see improvement day after day, but, oh, you're improving, okay? Things are getting better. You are developing more of the skill, or, I don't know, strengthening the relationship, or learning the information, or whatever it might be, okay? You are very slowly transforming yourself into that Hierophant, okay? Into the master, into the expert, yeah. But it's going to take time. And so in a way, Spirit is advising you right now in your life to have patience, okay? Rome wasn't built in a day, that sort of thing, okay? The Death card is also about things that we might need to let go of if we want to maybe pick up the pace, if we want to get done faster, if we want to get to that mastery Hierophant level faster. What things can we say goodbye to? What things in our life can we recycle? Okay. Are there things in your life right now that are taking up your time, effort, energy, money, or space, that if you were to reclaim them and devote them to what what your main goal is, or whatever this particular objective is in your life. Is there a way that you can reclaim some of that energy and devote it to something else? This is the great recyclops, okay? It's asking you, it's here, it appears in the reading whenever in our life we need to recycle something. That we're holding on to something that's like an empty aluminum can. I already drank all the LaCroix out of that thing, or the Bob Ross energy. So now what do I do with that can? I'm not just going to hold on to it. I'm not going to keep it in my fridge, right? We're going to recycle it. We're going to turn it into something else. It's time, it's effort, it's energy, it's money, or space. So when this card shows up, we need to ask ourselves, what do I need to get rid of in my life so I can reclaim that space, or I can reclaim that money, or I can get that time back, so I can devote that, I can channel that into something else that I really want to do. Okay? So that's going to be a really important thing for you in the coming days, is to find something like that in your life that you can recycle. Okay? And devote that resource, that reclaimed resource, to something else. Down beneath the surface, 5 of Swords. This is a card of, sometimes it's a card of confusion, okay? But this is really a card of kind of acknowledging that I don't know something, and I need to, if I want to know it, I've got to ask the questions. I've got to do the mental labor to figure things out. Okay? So this, I think, is really, I mean, it obviously goes with the rest of our Swords energy, especially the princess here, because that's what the princess is doing, asking questions. If you're so worried about being wrong, guess what? You're not going to ask questions. You're not going to give an answer. You're not going to try. You're not going to do the mental work. So worried about getting the wrong answer, I'm not going to try to answer this equation. I'm not going to try to do the math problem. I'm just going to avoid it. Because then I can say, I didn't get it wrong because I didn't put an answer down at all. So, haha, I've outsmarted the test. I didn't get any answers wrong, I didn't get any right either. But this is about you doing that mental labor, applying your mental bandwidth to figure out the problem, to try to understand, to try to crack the code, okay? And I feel that it's going to be the next few days for you are going to be one of a lot of stress. This is a card of stress, mental stress. Stress isn't anxiety. Stress isn't, I'm worried about the future. No, stress is saying, I got a problem and I got to figure out how to solve it. Stress might be when we have too many problems and not enough resources to solve them all. So that kind of ties in with that death card, saying sometimes we got to clear our plate a little bit so we can really apply our mind to what's really important to us, and we can solve this thing. Whatever it is, if you're in school, if this is something at work, if it's a family thing, a relationship, a romance, if you're dating, it doesn't matter. You're trying to learn a new skill, you're trying to learn how to code, I don't know, whatever it is. Trying to learn how to do a YouTube channel or something like that. You've got to realize that added stress right now is going to take away the mental bandwidth that you need to solve any of the problems. So eliminate some of them. Find some things that you don't need to worry about right now and push them off to a later date. It's not about procrastinating. It's not about avoiding the problems. It's about you prioritizing the problems and saying the mental resources that I have, maybe it's time, effort, energy, money, or space, right? The resources that I have need to be devoted to solving a particular problem first. So the other problems, they can be second, third priority. That's okay. We're kind of triaging our stresses, our stressors, I guess, and prioritizing them, okay? That's going to be very important for you in the coming days. The Chariot here as a background card, this is your service. This is your self-control and your devotion, your loyalty, okay? This is telling me that what you're doing now is not just to gratify your ego. This is meant to improve your life in some way that's not just oh, it's going to be fun for me. It's going to just be for pleasure. Okay? The Chariot isn't here for pleasure. The Chariot here because it has a duty. Okay? It has a kind of a divine mission. And so whatever you're doing now, if you're trying to learn something or solve a problem or, study or graduate or pass a class or get a certification or whatever it is, or you're trying to negotiate with somebody, you're trying to kind of like form an agreement or a contract or whatever it might be, you're going on interviews or something, auditions, you're not just doing it because it's fun. It doesn't look fun, does it? None of this looks fun. The death card certainly doesn't look fun. Okay? You're doing it because you're in service to your bigger picture. You're in service to what's good for your life. Okay? This is the card of holding it together. Don't let it fall apart. Find a way, whatever you got to do, to keep on this path because this is a good path for you. And whether this is something that you're trying to you're trying to take some classes so that you can earn more money because that's going to be better for your life, that's going to be better for your family, etc. You're trying to level up your education or your knowledge, you're trying to develop new skills so that you can, start your side hustle or something like that, right? Or you can switch careers. If this is you trying to learn a musical instrument or a sport or a new hobby, that's going to enrich your life. Okay, so you're not just doing it for enjoyment. If you were just doing it for that, it'd say, yeah, just go buy a guitar and just play around with it. It'll be fun. It wouldn't be stressful. It would just be fun. So the fact that you're stressing about it, okay, means that you're doing it not just for the immediate gratification, but for the bigger, the bigger significant or enrichment of your life. Okay, so hold it together with your discipline and your self-control. Up above the surface, we do have a card of happiness, a 9 of cups, right? I feel like your life is going to get happier. Happiness is not the same as pleasure. It's not the same as luxury. It's not the same as fun, okay? Because happiness is going to include difficulty. It's going to include challenge. It's going to include good days and bad days. Okay, good days and bad days. And basically what it is, it's a 5 plus a 4. It's disappointment and a little bit of luxury. Okay, it's your willingness to struggle, to enrich your life in a way that is more meaningful and more important and more potent for you than just doing something that's going to have fun, that's going to feel good, that's going to be immediately gratifying, okay? But this is a card of superabundance. This is a card of happiness. The 2 of Swords is a card of peace, okay? We have stress, we have death, we have the Chariot, control, discipline, we have kind of letting go, recycling energy and channeling that energy into this endeavor, okay? That's really leading to peace and happiness. These 2 cards are probably the best cards of the tarot. There's peace in your heart and mind, and there's happiness in your life. There's abundance in your life. What you're doing now may be stressful, but it's for a really good reason. It's for a really good purpose, okay? This is the card of abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. Whatever you're doing now is not just a physical abundance or a physical, endeavor or project. It doesn't just have physical rewards, okay? It doesn't just have financial rewards. It doesn't just have an emotional reward or a creative reward, okay? It's something that is going to affect every dimension of your life, okay? I think that's another indication that we know that this is something that is enriching your life in more ways than just one. If you're learning an instrument, yeah, that's something that might gratify your heart It might bring you some side money or something, or some kind of physical reward, some kind of physical pleasure, listening to beautiful music and playing beautiful music with your new guitar or whatever. But it's also something that's creatively and spiritually rewarding. And I think it's also mentally rewarding because there's a challenge presented to you and you have to figure out how to solve that problem, how to push through that challenge. Okay? So that kind of mental reward, I think, is a big part of your life right now, too. I think that your life is becoming much happier. I think you are, in general, you're pursuing things in life that are sort of faceted, things that are interdimensional in your life. You're pursuing things, people, places, things, ideas, projects, goals that are enriching your life in more ways than one. You're not just after those, the one-dimensional goals, but goals that will affect every other part of your life. Everything's interconnected, you see. So it's not about those simple kind of, the goals, the flat, one-dimensional, monotone kind of things. This is about pursuing a deeper happiness and satisfaction in your life, okay? And being willing to endure that stress and this challenge, okay, for this greater good. And that's how you're going to be making choices going forward. With the Two of Swords, Spirit wants you to make choices now that are aimed at the bigger picture. Okay? Being able to choose difficult things now, knowing that they're going to lead to a deeper happiness, satisfaction, superabundance in your life. Because what we could choose with the Two of Swords is we could choose things that are just going to feel good now. Okay? But they're short-lived and they're kind of flat. And they're very one-dimensional pleasures, okay? Or you could choose things that might be more challenging. They might take longer, but they're going to reward you on every plane of existence. Does that make sense? So Spirit wants you to understand how you make choices right now. Don't make choices from ego, because ego wants to feel good right now. I want something that's going to hit quick and it's going to feel good. That's it. But what your soul wants is something that's going to permeate your entire life. Every area of your life is going to improve through these choices. Okay? So the next few days in your life is going to see, I think, a lot of opportunities come your way, and you're going to have to be able to sort and sift through those and say no to these and say yes to these. Say yes to those things that are going to bring about a deeper, more lasting, more long-term happiness rather than instant gratification. Okay? I think you're moving into a period where your heart, your intuition is kind of taking over. Yeah. And I think that you're going to be experiencing a kind of flow state in whatever the particular thing you're doing now, the one that's stressful, the one where you're kind of the white belt, right? You're getting into a zone where things, the answers are going to start coming more easily for you. So I feel like things are going to pick up the pace and things are going to start moving faster. You're going to get into that flow state where you're going to think something's going to click. Okay? There's a peacefulness in your mind where maybe it's because we've eliminated a lot of the unnecessary stress and we've eliminated some of the distractions. Okay? Because what is the 5 plus a 2? 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is distraction. It's a mind that's trying to focus on one particular path, but there's just too much noise. Well, if we get rid of some of that noise, then you have a much higher likelihood of getting the right answers, of making progress in your, let's say you're trying to do the math, you're trying to learn your your calculus or whatever, right? Or I don't know what math you're doing. When there are too many other things going on, you're taking too many other classes, you have too many other responsibilities, you're not devoting enough mental bandwidth to the math homework. Okay? But we prioritize, we find a way to, at least in the moment, only focus on math. You're not trying to multitask, in other words. Okay? And I think that might be our Two of Swords moving forward. Try not to multitask as much. Do one thing and do that thing, and then switch gears and do that thing and do only that thing, and then switch back if you need to. But not try to juggle 10 things at once, because you're not going to have the resources to handle all of that, and that's going to be stress. Too much stress. This is peace. This is you're sleeping like a baby at night because you got your homework done, you know? This is stress. This is like you're not going to sleep at all. Yeah. Okay, now if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. The general energy is the Knight of Cups. This is somebody that is reacting emotionally to a stimuli, okay? This is literally like an emotion, okay? Something is sparking an emotional response in you. Spirit wants you to be aware of how you respond emotionally to things, and if you are under heavy stress right now, your emotional reactions may come a little bit quicker and a little bit more unfiltered, okay? So just be aware of how you're treating people and be aware of how you are expressing your emotions. If you're stressed out and you're frustrated, things might kind of trigger you faster, you know, and I don't like using that word really, but this is us reacting in an emotional way. We're kind of acting out an emotion because something is stimulating that we're being stimulated, right? There's an external stimuli and we're having that emotional reaction. And this could be, well, it could be a response to stress. I was going to say it could be an emotional outburst, right? But I don't know if that maybe sounds a little childish, but when we're stressed out, I think a lot of things are going to elicit an emotional response that might not otherwise elicit the same response, okay? So we might be a little bit sensitive to the external stimuli right now because I feel like you're a little bit stressed out about things. So if we manage our stress, we can manage our stress response and our emotional response to outside stimuli that may not have anything to do with this. Okay? One way to do that is to show kindness to people, okay? To put forth an effort to show affection and show love and show kindness and express your emotions in a positive way, okay? As a way to kind of take control of that emotional response. If we can sort of override the emotional response with positive expression, then there won't really be any bandwidth there for the negative, impulsive emotional reactions, you know? So we're replacing the sort of reactionary, reflexive emotions with intentional, positive kindness and affection and love, and send a friendly text message, hold the door for somebody, you know, that sort of thing. You know, tell people how we feel about them. Show gratitude and love and appreciation. And to yourself, too. Okay? To yourself, too. Now, in the next position, we have a Six of Wands. That's victory after a struggle. So I'm certain that whatever you're working on here that's got you kind of stressed out and a little bit high-strung, it's going to work out great. Okay? You're going to get into this flow. Things are going to start clicking. Okay, because you're able to focus on kind of one thing at a time. You're not going to multitask too much, right? And your difficulties will result in a lot of successes. This is one win in a series of wins. Okay, and I think that what you're going to do really is like you're going to start stacking these wins, because that's going to lead to a real confidence, and that confidence is going to lead to more wins, and pretty soon we're going to be that Hierophant. We're going to be that expert, okay? This is a card sometimes of teamwork, And I believe that what this is saying is set your environment up in a way that is conducive to your win. If you're trying to do your homework in your bedroom and you got your game system, your computer, your internet's running, your phone's running, the music is on, and all your friends are there too, and it's too much. You're not going to get anything done. Too many distractions, too much noise, and not enough signal. Okay? So I think that this card is like trying to advise you to create an environment that's conducive to success. Set yourself up for the win. Schedule the time. Close down all the other tabs on your browser. Feel like you got too many tabs open. Yeah? That's kind of what our Seven of Swords is kind of like. Too many tabs are open. Get rid of all those tabs you don't need. Just keep the one or two open that you're using, and you'll feel such a calm. You'll feel so peaceful. Sometimes for me, my Seven of Swords is when there are too many noises going on, too many voices at the same time, or too many sounds. Like my daughter's talking, my wife's talking, the TV's on, there's music on, there's traffic outside, and there's another conversation on the other side of the room. It's too many sources. So what I need to do for me is I cut down on the amount of sources. And then I just have one or two sources. I can listen to my daughter, I can listen to my wife, that's it. Or I've got the music going, and then I can have a conversation at the same time. But kind of, too many things going on at once. Your mind tries to connect with all of them. I feel like at most you can do like one or two or three at the same time. And really, you can only give your full attention to one thing at a time. Okay, so anyway, the environment matters. Set yourself up for success in your environment with the people that you're surrounded with the objects in your room, with the distractions, with even the mood lighting, with maybe you put on some classical music in order to study better, or you're going to put on some faster, heavier kind of rock and roll, heavy metal music or something to exercise to, or something like that, right? So that environmental influence is going to be very important for you in the coming days. And I think for all of us, every day of our life, The next card is the confidence card, the strength, the fortitude, the lust, the passion card. The more this starts to click for you, the more things start to work out for you in your life, the more wins you get, the more capable you feel. What we have here is a Jupiter in Leo, setting yourself up for the win. We have an expansion of this Leo energy, an expansion of that pride, an expansion of your capabilities. This is someone who feels like they can reach up into the night sky, pluck out a star, and put it in their pocket, or can reach up and pluck a feather from the universe and put it in their cap, Really feels good about what they've done, feels good about their accomplishments, and kind of just like going through life thinking, I did it, and I'm doing it, and I can do it, and I will do it, and watch me do it. And I think this is the confidence that you need right now, but you got to be careful with that. It doesn't need to become hubris or arrogance, okay? It needs to become kind of a humble pride. It needs to become discipline, right, and self-control. This is kind of like we're taming the lion a little bit. We're not trying to domesticate it. You don't want to turn the lion into a little kitty cat, but you want to harness that. You want to get hungry. You want to get fired up. You want to feel like you can take on the universe. But you want to control that. You want to gently push that into the right avenues, so that you can make faster progress and stronger progress. It's kind of like you're going to climb the mountain faster and kind of with a higher quality, right, than anybody else. Okay, so it's not so much about speed, but it is about the strength, and it's about the quality of what you're doing. And I feel like things are going to start moving faster for you. Okay. You're making it work, and I think you're making it work very, very well. I think you are in control of your passions. You're in control of your appetite and your desire and your sort of force and fire, you know. And you're also in control of your, your vehicle. You're in control of your heart. In a way, this is fire and this is water, right? We have Leo and Cancer. So your heart and your soul are kind of like, very, very disciplined. You're in control of your energies right now, and I think you're able to control the appetites. In other words, you may want a lot of things at once, but you have that ability to prioritize. Okay, you can't eat everything at the buffet all at once. You kind of have to go in and think, what am I really hungry for? What am I really looking forward to eating at this buffet? And then you go and you eat that thing, but not too much of it, because you want to have other things and some dessert too, right? So you're controlling that kind of appetite, and you're not just running wild, charging up the mountain crazy frantic because you're going to make a mistake. But you've got to have that force and fire. You've got to feel that inner strength, but it has to be channeled, okay? The Hierophant here is really showing your destiny. I feel like you're becoming quite the expert at something. I feel like you are achieving your goals. That looks like you, okay? That is you kind of at the top of this mountain, receiving the rewards for whatever this work is. Whatever your goal is, you're graduating. All of this work here is paying off in whatever this sort of wisdom or acknowledgement. Maybe it's some recognition. Maybe that's an expertise. Maybe it's a mastery at something. Okay. I think also Spirit is trying to emphasize that you're learning something really, really important in your life right now. And it's important that you share that with other people in some way, that you pass on what you're learning. And you don't have to wait until you become a PhD to start teaching other people the way. Okay? In most initiatory traditions, as soon as you step foot on the path, you're the student, right? But you also become a teacher at the same time. Okay, as soon as you take one step on the path, you're there to help the other people that are coming behind you. Just as there are people that are in front of you helping you to take the next step as well. You're in a chain of student, teacher, a lineage. You're part of a lineage. And so it's important that as much as you may feel like the student, know that you also have a duty to assist the people that are coming up behind you. Okay? So pass on your wisdom in whatever way you can. Depends on what you're doing and who you are and where you are and all that stuff. Let me know if you want to tell your story. Leave it in the comments. I'm curious about what this is for you. Let's look at the mystery card here. Trying to keep these videos short. Here we are almost at 40 minutes. What do you think this is going to be? Well, I think it's going to be water. I'm asking you what you think, so put your prediction in the comments. My prediction is water energy. I feel like it's going to be a 2 of Cups or an Ace or any of the water, really, It might be the Star. It might be your superpower card, your destiny. It might be kind of saying like you've arrived, It might be something that's here that's kind of meant to reinforce or reassure you. It might be the High Priestess. It might be the Star. Let's see. The Magician. Yeah, of course. You're the magic maker. You're the one that has to direct your energy in the right place. You are the one trying to create something through your willpower, right? You're trying to cause change. You're trying to do something. And the Magician is the one that can do things, can make things happen. You can make magic, okay? You have to control your thoughts, your feelings, your creative energy, you have to control your will, you have to control your body. You're the one that has to be responsible and strategically allocate your time, effort, energy, money, and space. Okay? Those investments. This is the, magician is Mercury, the Lord of Commerce, business, transactions, strategy, wisdom, adaptability, flexibility, and all that stuff. You have to know how to allocate your resources. So make the budget, make the schedule, make the plan, and have the willpower to hold yourself to it. To have a budget but no discipline, who cares about the budget? It's not going to help you. You got to have the discipline to stick to the budget, or stick to the schedule, or stick to the plan. Okay? Otherwise, you're lost. The only way this is going to work is if you have a curriculum, a course, you have a study plan even. You have the educational tract, at school that's saying you take this class, this. You got to stick to it. You got to have the discipline and the willpower and the courage to do it. Okay? And that's, and you're the magic maker. I love this. Perfect confirmation card. Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Aquarius, Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you. I love you. And we're all in this together.